Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a long time coming. I got this game as a gift, I don't know, years ago, and it seemed like all the stars aligned because we played Ace Attorney after Trails one time, and it's all good. I'm told that this is a game that's a spiritual successor to the Ace Attorney series, outdoes it in some places, and if it is anything like the Apollo Justice of a couple months ago, we're going to be in for a good time. Hi there, James, AQ Solaris. It's not Edgeworth time, it's magic! Yes, he is the attorney of the Arcane. I have no idea what that even means, but we're just gonna hit new game and see what happens. We have 4 cases to look at. Of course, we're gonna start at case number 1, the cold-hearted aristocrat. Is this going to be a full-on case, or is this going to be more of a tutorial? We'll see. The fields of battle are filled with suffering and despair. On them are a clash of souls. Souls brought to conflict by the corrupt powers that rule over them. We are looking at Reese Rudolph. And apparently all of his information is right over here. He is a servant. He's 34 years old, and his arcane art, he doesn't have one. He was transporting a client in his carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. And there he is. Our very first bit of dialogue coming from, I'm guessing it's testimony. I was worried that someone was amiss, so I walked into the building to see what the commotion was. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. And she was stabbing the victim with her magical sword! Objection! Well, didn't take long for us to hear one of those. Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. Tyrion is a defense attorney at age 20. You go, man. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes, I could never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. How so? My man is just chipping away at that desk. Unless I falsely remember him already having done it one time. Boom! Because your testimony was a complete lie! What? Objection. And looks like we got our rival, not attorney, the prosecutor. Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Her name is Arya Steelwind. She's a prosecutor, age 18, and her arcane art is evocation. So it seems like there are people with arcane arts, and I am a badass normal up against someone who has an art. Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Steelwind. Think about the state of the crime scene at the time of the murder. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. This really is Ace Attorney beat for beat. He knows something. He's not happy. He's not despairing. He's not angry. He's nervous. But on this battlefield, there are still a few people who carry the ideals of justice within their hearts. But you have to wonder sometimes, are those ideals truly just? Or are they simply lies fed to us by our elders? Dang, already getting into the nitty-gritty of the particulars. Damn it! Damn it! Flintheart, you fool! Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Duh. Is this the guy who did it? Rudolph, I require your assistance. Yes, sir. By the scared Lord, what did you... You killed him? Alert the town guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. At once, sir. Episode 1, The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat. I'm guessing Mr. The guy who shares the same name as the gold-silver rival. I'm guessing he's the cold-hearted aristocrat. Hello, Moderator Katum. After all, you were the one who brought this game into my Steam list. Everyone say thank you, Moderator Katum, for that. You need to do the final... You haven't done the final trial in this game? Well, seeing me trace through the first 4 might give you that motivation. Yeah. You feel yourself slowly succumbing to unbearable pain. You don't think you'll be able to survive this much longer. Are you sure you're okay, Cuthbert? You look like you're about to pass out. Ruby Tamora, Shiar Miafe. Don't worry about me, Miss Tamora. I'm fine. You've been riding in this carriage for days. You are definitely not fine. With each bump in the road, you feel yourself becoming more and more nauseous. Interesting choice, the second-person perspective. It's taking every ounce of willpower just to hold down your lunch. I'm perfectly fine, if you say so. You feel the carriage drive over a large bump in the road. You can feel and hear your stomach retching in protest. That stew you ate for lunch doesn't taste nearly as good the second time. Oh, on second thought, that's better. You take a deep breath of fresh air. It's the first breath you've taken today that hasn't threatened to come back out. Sorry about this. I didn't expect the roads in this town to be this uneven. Our hero, everybody. I suppose they don't get a lot of traffic here. You've been on the road with your mentor for days. Together, you've been searching for a man named Flintheart McCoy. Supposedly, he's been a voice of dissidence against King Olivier. Olivier? Really? These degrees of separation, man, everything comes back to Trails in the Sky, doesn't it? I guess this takes place a little bit in the future, when Olivier has become the king. Are we actually in Arabonia? You have no idea what kind of business Miss Tomorrow would have with him, but you know better than to ask questions about her affairs. Hello, travelers. Welcome to Cornhaven. A local merchant steps out from one of the nearby shops. He has a wide smile on his face as he approaches your carriage with the enthusiasm of a starving vulture. Would a pair of dignified individuals such as yourself care for a refreshing drink? Oh. So we're able to see people's thoughts? But hey, he's not hiding anything. He seems to be genuinely happy to see us. He certainly has a friendly expression, but his thoughts seem very analytical. Well, I don't need a drink, but Miss Samora glances at you, and your stomach rumbles in agreement. Ah, of course. Just the thing for an upset stomach. With a carriage like that, I bet I can fleece them for a lot. Uh-oh. But he says fleece. Does he mean rob or does he mean rip off? His thoughts and emotions are laid bare through your eye of Horus. But the merchant's expression doesn't betray a hint of what he's truly thinking. You wonder if his false smile could get any bigger. At this rate, he might dislocate his jaw. How about 2 flasks of apple juice for 50 silver pieces? 50 SP? You may find the price daunting, but this is organic and fresh-made apple juice. It's just store-bought juice, but I bet they can't even tell the difference. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot an empty bottle of store-bought apple juice. It's resting on a table inside the merchant's shop. Store-bought apple juice has been added to your notes! Tyrion will make mental notes of notable clues he sees in the world. These notes are instrumental to solving mysteries and progressing through the game. You can check these notes at any time by opening the toolbar on the top left of the screen. So, the in-game narration refers to Tyrion in the second person, as in you and your, but the tutorial talks about Tyrion in the third person. That's, is he supposed to be you, or is he supposed to be Tyrion? This is just a little bit of the good old English major red marker coming out, don't mind me. Olivier, king, either became a sovereign of Liberum, or Erebonia downgraded from empire to kingdom, took the role of heir from. That's another time. So in other words, I just said so many wrong things in the same breath. Good. If you ever want to know an answer to anything on the internet, just loudly be wrong. Trust me, it's worth the extra gold. Normally, the price wouldn't matter that much to you, but you don't appreciate being treated like an easy mark. Oh, damn! We're about to Danganronpa this guy. You started an argument with another character. During an argument, your opponent will make claims that you need to respond to. Responding correctly will lower your opponent's confidence. Responding incorrectly will lower your confidence. And once you run out of confidence, you will lose the argument. Ooh. The music's kicking in. We just got into a random encounter. Tyrion is second person in gameplay, but to you, the player, into his frame of reference. Tyrion is a third person in tutorials to keep it framed around him. So, I'm in an argument right now. So these are my clues. I can cast spells, and there are profiles. What, no profile for the generic merchant? And what's this? Ah, a text log. Oh, this could actually be helpful. Let's see, here are settings. Ah, you've even got controller inputs. Well, of course, we got control. We can play this on controller. Interesting. So we can return to the title screen if we were so inclined. And this is to exit the game entirely. Where's my save scum option? I wanted to just stumble upon it and go, oh look, save scumming. Alright, save load menu. So, S. Ah, no option to do that right now? Their corner theme is equivalent to its boss music. Nice. I think you need to elaborate. You said that this apple juice is organic, but where is it made? It's produced by the hard-working people of this town, of course! You only trade organic products. In a small town like ours. Uh-oh. Did I accidentally... I'm trying to push buttons here, but it keeps on going through really quickly. Does the tutorial come through in the text log? You only deal with locally sourced products. According to a merchant, is a bottle of store-bought apple juice is resting on the table inside his shop, suspiciously empty. You say that, but I can see an empty bottle of store-bought juice inside your shop. Why would you have something like that if you only deal with organic products? Damn! I hit him with a single Potenkim jab. Oh, how'd that get there? Make no mistake, I only have that because I wanted to see how my products compare to that of the city. And let me tell you, that mass-produced slop doesn't even compare to my product. What an obvious lie. This juice is worth far more than I'm offering. Honestly, I'm offering you a very good deal. Interpreting during arguments. For certain claims, you will need to look at your opponent's thoughts and emotions. Choose the correct response depending on the information seen. Logic. Choose this option if your opponent's thoughts contradict with something in your notes. Intuition. Choose this option if your opponent's thoughts contradict their claims. Empathy. Choose this option if your opponent's emotions contradict their claim. Interesting. So you use logic based on your notes. Intuition is based off of the text above, and their emotion is that sliding scale at the bottom. I'm probably gonna have to keep a notebook of these things. Let's see. This juice is worth far more than what I'm offering. I only usually sell this stuff for 5 silver points a flask. Use this against claims that contradict a piece of evidence. Don't have. Use this so the thoughts, so his emotions are not on display. So by a process of elimination, it's intuition. Sir, it's obvious those flasks are only worth 5 silver points. What? How did you? Well, it's clear you're a very shrewd man. Right. Argument 1! If only it were that easy, huh? This child is thirsty. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a child watching you from afar. Her eyes are fixed on the flasks of apple juice. How about 20 SP for 3 flasks? Of course, sir! The Kingdom of Wyverngard, established several centuries ago by the 7 High Archmages. This'll be on the test. The kingdom is currently ruled by King Olivier de Wyverngard and the mages of his nobility. The nobility will tell you that our marvelous kingdom is a land of prosperity and happiness. A land where its people share the wealth and succor provided by the kingdom's magic. Thank you. He hasn't had anything like this in years. The child's passing thoughts tell you exactly how much succor the kingdom is sharing. I didn't know you had such an eye for rural economics. Well, I suppose I just have a good intuition for this sort of thing. After all, intuition was the button I pressed. Or did you use another kind of eye? Don't get me wrong, your so-called Eye of Horus is an amazing gift. You should take every opportunity to hone it. But try to be more subtle next time. If I can see through you, others will be able to as well. Right. Anyways, I did some asking around while you were, haggling. Supposedly, the McCoy Tavern should be up north of here. If my tip is correct, this should be the place. Wait, this is the McCoy Tavern? With the state it's in, calling it a tavern is being pretty generous. You find it hard to believe that this had a secret meeting place for dissidents. But now that you think about it, maybe that's the entire point. The tavern has been shut down for years. Nowadays, Flintheart just uses it to host his rallies. Although, I do wonder how they've been keeping themselves afloat for this long.
Hey, you lot! McCoy Tavern is closed!
A gruff man approaches your carriage as you step out of it. He's eyeing you and Ms. Tamorum, a clear look of contempt on his face. I take it that you're Flintheart McCoy?
I am! What of it?
Occupation, unemployed. Really caught him lacking employment. Sorry for not writing ahead of time. But I'm Ruby Tamorum. I wanted to speak with you.
Ruby Tamora!
Wait,
The Ruby Tamora?
any animosity he initially had immediately vanishes. He lets out a laugh, as if you were meeting an old friend.
Why didn't you say so? Come on in!
You didn't expect someone like him to know about Ms. Tamorum. But you suppose it makes some sense. They both fight against the same enemy, albeit in different ways.
Sorry about the mess. We haven't exactly been... Well, anyways, what brings you here? I take you didn't journey all this way to see my wrecked tavern?
I'm here on behalf of a client. We have a proposition that you might be interested in. Is there anywhere we could talk more privately?
Sure, the kitchen's empty.
Wonderful. Tyrion, stay here while I speak with McCoy. What? Don't you need my help? There's no need for that. Like hell, there's no need for that. If she's trying to make a deal with Flintheart, you can easily read his thoughts to help her. Uh-oh, she's using her own eyes. You desperately want to object, but she shoots you a stern look that causes you to freeze up. You slowly look away from her. You spend some time waiting alone in the tavern's dining area. It's already been hours since Ms. Timor and Flintheart went to talk in the kitchen. I fell for hours! You can hear faint murmurs from behind the closed door, and you've been resisting the urge to eavesdrop. But even from here, you can tell that their conversation is slowly becoming more frustrated. Looks like they're going to be a while. Well, it's a good thing you always bring a chess set around. You bring out the small chessboard that you've carried around since you were a child. Chess can be played with one person, and you've always taken advantage of that. Right? Checkmate. You win against yourself. This time as black. I've played 10 games already, and I've won 7 out of 10 times as black. Hello? Statistically, white is more likely to win. Unbeknownst to you, you're thinking out loud. So why am I performing so much better when playing as black? Hello? You still don't notice her, and you're verbalizing your thoughts just as fast as you're thinking them. Am I becoming overconfident as white because it is a first move advantage? Or perhaps that very advantage is affecting my choices and making me play in a suboptimal manner. If a personal quirk is making me play illogically, then I need to correct it. Hey! Ugh! What? How long have you been standing there? It's about time you noticed me. I've been trying to get your attention for a while now. Oh, sorry. Do you know where my dad is? Your dad? Flintheart McCoy. I'm his daughter, Celeste.
She's a mercenary? Didn't see that one coming.
Oh, Flintheart is speaking with my mentor right now.
Wait, what? Was that a slip of the tongue, or is there more to this?
Nah, I wanted to show him something. Do you know when they'll be done?
I don't know.
They've been speaking in the kitchen for a while now. Your Flintheart and Mr. Moore's voice is getting louder and more frustrated, but Celeste doesn't seem to notice. Her eyes seem to be focused on your chessboard. This is chess, right? Are you playing against someone? Oh, I'm playing against myself, actually. Oh, that's... You feel a judgmental stare. Playing alone helps you develop new strategies. Plenty of professionals do it. Hey, I'm not the type to shame a man for playing with himself. Hi-yo! That's... Relax, I'm just joking. Anyways, if you're still waiting for your mentor, do you want to play a game? Oh, you know how to play? Sure, I've read about this before. She's read about it. Easy money! Ugh, this table's so dusty. Celeste takes a seat on the other side of the table. She tries to set up her side of the board, but fumbles with the pieces. She stares at one of them, confused. How do I arrange these things again? A part of you regrets accepting your challenge, but it would be impolite to back out now. Here, I'll arrange them for you. Thanks! Checkmate. You defeat her in 2 moves. Is that supposed to be possible? Wait, what? Already? How did you do that? You decide against telling her the name of what the mate was. Was it un passant? Rematch me. I want a do-over. Sure, why not? It's not as if you have anything better to do. Celeste's brow furrows as she tries to decide on her next move, but she hasn't realized that the game is already finished. Here! She moves her knight into a position to attack your queen. It should have stopped her assault on her king, but... Checkmate. A scholar's mate, this time. What? Come on! How do you keep doing that? You look at the closed door to the kitchen. Flintheart and Mr. Moore's discussion is becoming louder. Doesn't sound like they'll be done anytime soon. Again, I'll definitely beat you this time. For someone who had clearly never played before, she's quickly improving with each game. It's impressive. She's observing your strategies and adapting them to her playstyle. With the way she's playing now, she could even defeat a nationally ranked noble. Checkmate. But even so, you've been playing this game for a lot longer than she has. How are you always one step ahead of me? It's like you're reading my mind. As if you'd even need to. Just one more game. I'll get you this time. Hello, Cuthbert. Miss Samora emerges from the kitchen with Flintheart. They both look mentally exhausted. Looks like negotiations didn't go well. Hi, Dad.
Oh, hello, sweetie.
Flintheart looks irritated, but as soon as he sees Celeste, he quickly hides it behind a smile. It's possible to end a game in 2 turns, but it requires 2 very exact moves. That makes sense. I wonder what their discussion was about.
What's this? Some kind of game?
Miss Tamura glances at pieces on the board. Don't feel too bad about losing to him. He's nationally ranked. Oh, you're a professional. Is that why you're wearing a suit? No, chess is just a hobby. I am actually a defense attorney. Hold on a second, where's my badge? Where's my attorney's badge? I need to flash it. An attorney? Speaking of which, we should probably be on our way.
Hey, sorry refusing you after you came all this way. I really respect what you're doing, but I don't want anything to do with your mage friends.
I guess she does. I guess she takes a little bit of resemblance to that. You wonder what he meant by that. Was Miss Tamura trying to introduce him to one of our clients? Anyways, it is getting late. If you leave now, you won't get back to the city until morning.
He's right. This region is littered with bandits and brigands.
Alright, what is a brigand? I need to see this. What? Brigand. Definition. Member of a gang that ambushes and robs people in forests and mountains. Okay. Bandit definition. A robber outlaw belonging to a gang typically operating in an isolated, lawless area. Bandit versus brigand definition. A bandit comes from the Italian word bandito, meaning outlawed, and often describes a criminal acting alone or in a group, whereas a brigand is from the French and Italian, originally meaning foot soldier or fighter, but evolved specifically to mean a member of a band of robbers, often operating in remote areas. Okay, so he's talking about... lone bandits and gangs, basically.
You won't want to run into them this late.
I guess you have a point.
You have plenty of empty rooms they can stay in until morning. It's the least I can do after you came all this way.
Well, if it's not too much trouble, we might as well stay here until tomorrow. The tavern is shut down, but we still have some sheets and blankets. I'll go get the rooms ready. Adorable. Celeste and Flintheart leave the dining area to get your rooms ready. You left in the dining room with Miss Tamura. So, I take it that the negotiations didn't go well. No, I didn't expect him to be so stubborn. Honestly, I have no idea what that man has against mages. Well, there is one way to find out. Why are you being so secretive? If your business with Flintheart is related to our clients, I can help. It wasn't important, and your presence was not necessary. That's such an obvious lie, but you can't read a single thought from her mind. She's had years of practice hiding her thoughts from the eye of Horus. Celeste enthusiastically came back downstairs, but she seemed to have noticed the tension between you and Miss Tamura. Sorry to interrupt, but your rooms are ready now. Right. Thank you. An awkward silence hangs in the air as you and Miss Tamura head upstairs. You reach the upper hallway and see the 2 rooms that Celeste prepared for you. Miss Tamura stops before entering her room. You were playing chess with Flintheart's daughter earlier. Was she any good? Not at first, but she got a lot better as we kept playing. I'm sorry for leaving you there for so long. I didn't expect our discussion to last for that long. No, it's fine. Despite everything, I enjoy playing against her. I see. Well, I suppose you are at that age. No! It's not like that! It's just that outside of tournaments, I never really get to play against another player. And you only ever want to play shogi against me. Because shogi is clearly superior. Hold on a second. Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do this, and then, hold on a second. Got him! But it's not, I'm undoing my user interface. It's complete anarchy is what shogi is. You just bring fallen pieces back to life like some kind of necromancer. It adds depth. Dropping adds a dimension of play that isn't present in chess. You sternly look at each other, your positions already made. After a few moments of silence, you both burst out laughing. Ah! Ha 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 ha! I'm sorry if it looks like I don't trust you. I know you're just trying to help. But there are some things about my work that I just can't tell you about yet. But one day, I'll tell you everything. Oh yes, one day. Because whenever a mentor when a mentor makes an agreement to say something someday to their protege, it always comes to fruition. You're not inviting any sort of tragedy. Well, nice knowing you, Miss Shimura. Right. I'm sorry for prying. I just want to show you I'm ready to be an attorney. You are. I know you are. The rare praise from your mentor catches you off guard. Anyways, get some rest. You should mentally prepare yourself for the journey tomorrow. Right. You completely forgot about the carriage ride back. You can already feel your stomach churning in protest. You lay in the bed that the McCoys prepared for you. As you close your eyes, you slowly drift into a deep slumber. As this happens, you feel something invasive. Your mind drifts away, and you feel yourself being pulled elsewhere. You find yourself in a surreal and unsettling landscape. Oh no! Is that the aureole in the sky? Or is that a fake Grand Order reference? Were we pulled into a singularity? You're fairly certain that you're dreaming right now, but some instinct in the back of your mind tells you that something is fundamentally wrong about this. You see a woman in the far distance. She's staring directly at you. What presence? She's murmuring something, but you can't quite make it out. Is she trying to say something to you? Finally. Found. Oh dear. Oh, I didn't hear. I didn't see what she said. She finally found. I didn't see what she said. She finally found something. Let me see if I can rewind that and pause it. I was about to say, not the Hotel Hex Maniac. Oh, so she said, I finally found you, Heavensborn. What in the world could that mean? I mean, we'll figure it out later on, but I'm jolted wide awake. Do you think that that's what the Hex Maniac was looking for as well? She's looking for the Heavensborn. You can't exactly remember what the woman said to you. Whatever her words were, they sent a piercing chill down your spine. Your breath is heavy and your heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. Ugh, calm down. It was just a dream. At least, that's what you try to tell yourself. But please, just let me explain.
I don't want to hear it!
You hear the voices of Celeste and Flintheart ring out from downstairs. It must be extremely late. What could they possibly be arguing about at this hour?
I want you out of my house! Out!
A dead silence lingers in the air before you hear someone rush out of the tavern. Whoever left slams the door behind them. What was that all about? It's none of your business. You only met these two today. It'd probably be best to not get involved in their affairs. And as you tell yourself that, a brief image of Celeste's smile appears in your mind. Damn it. You slowly make your way out of your room, but the hallway is nearly pitch black. You can barely see a few inches ahead of you. You have to watch your step to avoid tripping. You run into Flintheart, who is slowly walking up the stairs. Even this close, it's hard to see his expression in the darkness. Sorry, I just heard...
Right. I forgot you two were...
His words trail off. Is everything okay? Oh, he's worried and he's sad. Sorry, I'm just going to... You awkwardly shimmy past Flintheart to head down the stairs. He doesn't move out of your way. It's clear his mind is elsewhere. You arrive at the dining room, but you don't see Celeste anywhere. Honestly, though, it's hard to tell with how dark the room is. Celeste? Are you still here? You don't receive an answer. You remember hearing someone slam the front door earlier. Your eyes are drawn to the tavern entrance. Celeste? No answer. Celeste? Where are you?
Ugh.
The merchant you spoke with before steps out from his shop holding a lantern. He appears to be irritated by all the noise you've been making.
Oh, you're that kid from before. You have any idea what time it is? This isn't the city. You can't just make a bunch of noise like this.
Right. Sorry. I was just looking for Celeste.
Oh!
Celeste McCoy. She's Flintheart's daughter. The merchant's expression becomes a little colder. Do you know them?
What do you want with that bastard?
Uh-oh. So, that damn mage, is he a mage, or is he talking about Celeste? What?
Those who probably woke up half the street with her yelling. They don't need you keeping us up, too. If I hear any more noise, I'm gonna call the town guard.
Before you can get a word in, the merchant walks back into his home in a huff. You look around, but you still don't see any sign of Celeste. You decide to continue searching.
I can't believe I said those things to her. She'll never forgive me for this.
I see your temper is as short as ever, Flintheart.
You!
Honestly, how do you live in this darkness? Lucio! Lucio!
What are you doing here? How dare you bring that witchcraft into my home?
You've been busy lately. Your little rallies have gained quite a lot of support. Too much support for my family's liking.
And what? Came all this way to convince me to stop?
You have my word. If you stop spreading dissidence, no harm will come to you or your family.
Your word is as good as the dirt you lick off King Olivier's boots. As if I'd ever trust the words of a murderer like you.
Flintheart, please. As someone you once called a friend, I'm only going to ask you one time.
Friend! Friend! I'll be dead in the ground before I ever call the likes of you a friend! Get out of my house! I don't have time for your nonsense!
Unfortunately, I don't think you'll have much time for anything. Damn it!
Damn it! Flintheart, you fool!
Why couldn't you have just listened to me? Rudolph, I require your assistance.
Yes, sir.
My scale lord, what did you... You killed him! I left the town's guard. Tell them that you saw his daughter fleeing the scene. I'm sure their neighbors heard them arguing with each other. They'll immediately suspect her. Once, sir. Yep, I'm changing the Rudolph voice that quickly. On a time, baby. You begin searching for Celeste for a while. How long have you been outside? 2 hours? 3? However long it's been, it's clearly taking a toll on you. Where is she? What am I gonna do now? You hear a faint voice. Could it be? Home? As you peer behind an old tree, you finally find her. She looks just as tired as you are, probably even more so. Her eyes are puffy and red, but she's doing her best to hide it with a smile. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, sorry. I'm guessing we woke you up? Yeah. Is everything okay? It's nothing. It was just an argument. But from the way she reacted, this is clearly not common. You suppose that it's none of your business. You decide to not pry any further. Have you been looking for me all this time? I have. Thank you. But I am okay now. You should head back. She really hit us with a Joshua. What about you? I think I'm going to stay out a little longer. You know that you should mind your own business. But I'm sure whatever happened between you two, it's nothing you can't talk out. It doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes Ms. Samora and I get into fights too. But no matter what happens, we were always able to talk through it. Sorry, I know it's none of my business, but I just... No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Ah, she's got a little bit of a still to go with her Joshua. I don't have any names for the other two, though. You're right. Let's go back. What? You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern, but it's now surrounded by several carriages and knights clad in plate armor. Is that the Inquisition? I couldn't possibly have expected that. What? The Arcane Inquisition? They're an order of knights that investigate crimes committed using magic. Ah, there's my save and load data. As you say the word crimes, you and Celeste share a glance and come to the same realization. Both of you rush toward the tavern, but Celeste outpaces you by a large margin. What? No. No! She reaches the tavern before you. Before anyone can stop her, she takes a look inside the inn. Whatever she saw makes her cry out in anguish. She drops to the ground in tears.
There she is! Celeste McCoy! By the authority of Wyvern God Crown, I am placing you under arrest.
What voice should I give this man? Is he the gumshoe of this game? Upon seeing Celeste, one of the knights steps forward and grabs her. Surprisingly, she's able to break free from his grip and tries to push further into the tavern. Noticing the commotion, 3 other knights rush to grab her and begin dragging her away. She kicks and screams against them, desperately trying to break free. Even between the 3 knights, it's taking all of their strength to subdue her. What are you doing to her? What's going on here? Tyrion? Miss Samora approaches you. You breathe a small sigh of relief and you see that she's okay. Miss Samora!
Should I known that was one of yours? Just stay out of her way.
Miss Samora, what's going on? Why is the Inquisition here? I am surprised myself. But from what I understand, Flintheart McCoy has been murdered. Murdered? Would I like to say my progress? Yeah! Say that progress, baby! Episode 1-2, The Cold-Hearted Aristocrat in the Barracks. You got nothing for anger and fear? I like to think that the fear one could easily be Olivier. I know that we already have the skull as Olivier, but the most iconic look of fear it probably is Olivier's. The anger is probably Agate. You follow the Inquisition back to the city where Celeste is being detained. According to Ms. Samora, Celeste was the prime suspect in Flintheart's murder, and due to the supposed nature of the crime, her case would be pushed to trial immediately. But many elements of the situation still don't make sense. The Inquisition only investigates crimes committed using magic, so why is Celeste their prime suspect? Could she be a mage? Nothing to report, Professor! I'm all out of water, so before we go into the visit portion, I'll go ahead and take a couple of minutes to fill up my water and other things. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. We can just imagine that I popped out at the proper intermission time. BRB. Hello there. I didn't expect that if I were going to miss my alarm clock that I would miss it by an entire hour, but here we are. I'm gonna be surprised. I've done this for like the whole year now that I've been playing. I've been playing loose with my time, and really surprised it took me this long before that sort of thing happened. I was just doing my thing, and I just see. I just closed my eyes. And then I was woken up the first time, and I say, you know what, I'm going to take a few more minutes. And then, before I knew it, that 8 turned into a 9, and it was not my finest moment. Not my longest break. Do you really have on record what my longest break was? Oh, that's right. There was a Dragalia stream where I was away for a significant amount of time. Yeah, well, I actually was away for a reason back then. Didn't have one here. Anyway, gonna see if I can just barge my way through and see if I can get through this first chapter before we hit reset time, or are we gonna be here for a little bit longer than that? Well, if I was about to remark that I ought to take a week off for my own health, but I don't think I've mentioned before that I will be I'll be on vacation starting on next Thursday, and I'll be away for exactly 2 weeks. So for anybody who remembers that, yeah, I'll be getting that much needed vacation soon. For everybody who doesn't, then yes, in mid September, I will be heading off, and I will most certainly be away from the desktop for that long time. It's a little trial. All right. You know what? I'll let you waiting for that long. Let's like 1 minute more. I'm having a few more old person moments. Be right back. Decided to give you a little bit of Kirby time as recompense. First I overslept, and now I needed a shot of Pepto. Okay, let's get into this and see if we can get through the trial so that we can end at a reasonable time. Into Trials and Investigation. Oh, Intro to Trials and Investigation coming up, if you recall correctly. Alright. Reasonable. Yeah. I'm probably going to be cutting out that long gap, which means that the chat... Apparently, whenever I trim down a stream, the chat gets trimmed down out entirely. The chat gets lost to the ether. Kind of an inconvenient thing, but if that's just part of YouTube Spaghetti Code, sure. Anyway, we are now here on behalf of Celeste, whose father was just killed, bless his soul, and she is being blamed for the murder. and a nobleman is framing her for it. So we'll see how we're able to gather up our notes and win some arguments to win her innocence. Tyrion says she has a right to speak to an attorney. Anyways, you find yourself met with another hurdle, a very frustrating one. Yeah, we can't let you see her until she's been processed. Her trial is in an hour. How has she not been processed yet? I don't know what to tell you, kid. I wish I could help. But when we're paid to delay someone's processing, we delay the processing. You don't need to use the eye to know that's a complete lie. So, you're really planning on defending her? Do you know if she could even afford a lawyer? I just can't stand here and do nothing. You saw them, didn't you? There's no way she would murder her father like that. I know that look. I was saving this for a special occasion, but... Ooh. An attorney's runestone has been added to my notes. Oh, I was wondering, is this going to be our equivalent to the attorney's badge? But nope, it's more like a camera, based on what I'm reading here. It allows you to take pictures of crime scenes and write notes telepathically. Every attorney has one. It's almost like a badge for them. It's both. That's the most tongue-in-cheek definition I've seen. It's almost like an attorney's badge of some sort. Well, it's like I'm some kind of phoenix, right? And these are my trials and tribulations. This is an attorney's runestone. If you're going to defend her, you're going to need one. You begin to tear up. You've wanted one of these ever since you were a child. It's basically a badge of honor for attorneys. Don't cry, Cuthbert. Sorry. Anyways, keep one thing in mind. If you try to defend her, the Inquisition isn't going to fight you fairly. Our court system only exists to create the illusion of justice. They hate people like us, and they'll do everything in their power to sabotage you. Damn it! You know they try to get in your way, but you didn't expect them to do it this blatantly. Ah! All this noise! You're that knight from the tavern. That's command, though. Well, I still wonder if just generic grizzled is the proper voice. That's Commander Orem right to you, kid. He's a knight. His name is Orem White. Got a feeling Tamora will be sniffing around this case. He's age 64. Nice. I didn't expect her to send a kid to do her dirty work. Commander, he says he wants to talk to the mage. Ben? He's got a right to an attorney, doesn't she? Well, she hasn't been processed. Commander White looks confused for a moment. What kind of bullshit are you trying to pull? Let him through, you idiot! Yes, sir. Maybe he is the gumshoe. Knight leads you through the halls of the dungeon. There's something built in the capital. It looks extremely old and decrepit. Well, not a big surprise that the only thing the prisoners don't feel is happiness. You pick up the negative emotions of the prisoners nearby. It's a heavy and almost crushing feeling. You've always had to avoid crowded places because of how sensitive you are to people's thoughts. You've never felt this much concentrated despair before. Oh, it's you! Celeste is lying down on the cold floor of one of the dungeon cells, but she immediately gets up as soon as she sees you. What are you doing here? Ms. Tamura told me about what happened to your father. I'm so sorry. I just don't understand. I don't understand any of this. Why would someone do this? And why are they blaming me for it? I'm not sure about the details, but it's clear that there were elements of magic involved in what happened. Since they've arrested you based on that evidence, I can only conclude one thing. Celeste, you're a mage, aren't you? No sense in hiding it anymore. Yes, I am. Do you have noble blood? Of course not! Why would you say that? Sorry, but the ability to use magic is hereditary. Most mages tend to have some kind of noble blood. I honestly don't like thinking about that. I'm the daughter of Jolene and Flintheart McCoy. That's all I need to know about myself. It would probably be best not to push the matter further. Anyways, you're probably arrested because you're a mage. What? A crime was committed using magic, and you're the only mage around at the time. Is that seriously the only reason? I only know how to cast one spell. The Arcane Inquisition doesn't care about the truth. They only care about closing their cases. Celeste, your case is being pushed to trial. You're going to be brought before a judge within the hour. What? No one told me anything! Damn it. They weren't even planning on telling her? If you'll have me, I'd like to be your defense counsel for the trial. Right. I forgot that you were an attorney. Would you really do that for me? After everything I've seen them do, I can't just stand by and do nothing. But they're a part of the kingdom. Do we even have a chance?
No! Don't give up! Never give up! Never surrender!
Celeste, man, king, or god, I won't let them do anything to you. What? Sorry, it's something I have a habit of saying. No, don't apologize. I really appreciate you doing this. It's clear this entire situation is bittersweet for her, and because of the Inquisition's delays, you haven't had time to investigate the crime scene. You were confident before, but you begin to doubt about whether or not you can really do this. Everything is happening so fast, it feels unreal. No, you have to do this. This is the exact reason why you became a lawyer. No matter what happens, you will acquit Celeste. Hey! We've made it into the courtroom. I'm in a real courtroom. Actually entering the courtroom has taken a lot of wind out of your sails. You've never been here as an attorney before. You've only ever acted as Ms. Tamura's assistant. The woman at the prosecutor's bench is staring at you. Ms. Tamura mentioned her before you went to see Celeste. What was her name again? You think it was Arya Steelwind. She's a prosecutor, alright. You can feel the coldness of her glare burrowing into you. Why is she staring you down? Is she all trying to intimidate you? Because it's working.
It's the judge. Court is now in session for the trial of Celeste McCoy.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Oh, the defense is also ready, Your Honor. He doesn't necessarily sound very ready.
Regardless, let's begin the proceedings. Prosecutor Steelwind, please list the charges.
The defendant is Celeste McCoy, a mercenary for hire and a registered mage. Wait, did she just say mercenary? Yeah, I had to take up a job after my family's tavern was shut down. Oh, right. That's not exactly the first occupation you'd choose. You're the best girl? Ah, I see. We got salt to our side and we got pepper in front. She's charged with second-degree murder and negligent misuse of the arcane arts.
I see. So there was magic involved.
Yes. The crime occurred within the McCoy Tavern, a local inn that shut down years ago. The locals reported hearing a loud commotion coming from within the building. Hours later, a carriage driver that was nearby checked the disturbance. It was then that he found the victim, the defendant's sword, still impaling his dead body. The Inquisition has provided an autopsy report and a record of the sword. Just as long as she doesn't upgrade the autopsy report, we've got this in the bag. If we get an upgraded autopsy report, we're cooked. And then that's Celeste's sword, the alleged murder weapon, an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties.
What was the defendant's relationship with the victim? I see that they share the last name.
The defendant is the victim's daughter, but not by blood. She was adopted into the family when she was an infant. Her birth parents are currently unknown.
I see. What an unfortunate turn of events.
To begin, the prosecution would like to call Commander Orem White to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
Name's Orem White. I'm Commander of the Arcane Inquisition.
Orem, could you please testify about the details of the Inquisition's investigation?
Yeah.
Ooh, first testimony.
We got a call late last night. Someone discovered a dead body inside the McCoy Tavern. When we arrived on the scene, we found Flintheart McCoy dead on the floor. The defendant's sword was still inside of him. We have several witnesses where the victim and defendant had a loud argument before the body was discovered. Their argument must have turned ugly, because the defendant killed the victim using a magic sword.
I'm wondering if I ought to be using my gumshoe voice for this man. You know the one. Isn't that really incriminating? One of her possessions is the murder weapon.
Mr. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination.
You open your mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. You can't think of anything to say. Everything is blank.
Mr. Cuthbert?
Hey, what are you doing? This is the part where you say something, right? I'm sorry. I don't... Your anxiety is just getting worse, and your breaths are becoming more and more desperate. Are you hyperventilating? What a disappointment. Huh? I was hoping to fight against the infamous Ruby Tamora today, but it's clear you can't even hold a candle to her. Your Honor, it's clear that the defense has nothing to say against the prosecution's overwhelming evidence.
Yep, this case is pretty open and shut.
No, wait. This isn't what's supposed to happen. I am sorry, Tyrion. I couldn't acquit Frey. She was found guilty. What? But that means... Oh! This is a flashback, because you can see it says Tyrion, but he's age 10 in this current frame that we're at. Are you seriously gonna let that happen again? That's interesting. That they allowed themselves to convey the sense of progression of time just from the fact that one number is changed. That's pretty cool. So that flashback was from 9 years ago. Apparently, Ruby was unable to acquit somebody, and that became part of Tyrion's backstory and motivation. Tyrion! Celeste grabs your shoulders and shakes you out of your panic. You need to calm down. Her gaze is calm and focused despite the gravity of the situation, but she looks stern, not angry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to... Stop, just listen to me. You know what to do, right? Just do it the same way you play chess. Nani? I don't know. You were just so calm and focused when you were playing before. No matter how close I got to beating you, you always knew how to stay calm and win. So just channel that feeling and look at the pieces? This doesn't make any sense. And yet... You take a moment to focus and let everything else disappear from the world. Every statement that he made, every word that came out of his mouth, each of those is a possible weakness that you can attack. Every bleak moment can be turned around. You just need to consider every angle. My apologies for the delay, Your Honor. The defense is ready to begin cross-examining the witness.
Very well.
There we go. Thank God that worked. Carefully examine every statement he made and find something that contradicts the evidence in your notes. Once you do that, present the contradicting evidence and prove that his testimony is false.
Here we go.
You're a cross-examining witness. Carefully examine each statement made by... and find the statement that contradicts a clue, a spell, or a profile in your notes. Once you identify a false statement, click present button again and present contradicting evidence. Move forward. Let's see, we got a call late last night. So, let's take a look at our stuff here. Oh, look at this. We're not even going to pretend like we're not giving you the option to save and continue, because, you know, that's what everybody does anyway, and the whole point is that the show must go on. You have a good night there, Matthew. The pod will be here for you. It'll be trimmed down, but it will be here for you. Considering the fact that I had not been given the tutorial on pressing, I imagine that I'll be able to present without needing to press. Rather than seeing, he found the defendant's sword was still inside of him. Several witnesses were at the claim the defendant and victim in a loud argument before the body was discovered. The argument must have turned ugly because the defendant killed the victim using her magic sword. Alright, let's see what I've got in my notes here. So, we got clues, spells, and profiles. The alleged murder weapon, it is an ornately designed sword, but it has no magical properties. Alright, so he says using her magic sword. But this sword has no innate magical properties.
Objection!
Commander White, you testified that the victim was killed using the defendant's magical sword. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you look at the crime scene.
I think I'd actually have to disagree with you on that. The defendant's sword couldn't have possibly been the murder weapon.
What are you talking about, kid? The sword was inside his body. Of course that's what killed him.
That may be the case, but take a look at the autopsy report. It states that the fatal wound had heavy traces of magic. So how would a non-magical sword leave traces of magic on the body?
What? Nutty?
To leave a trace like that, the wound would have to have been created with something magical. My client's sword may look fancy and expensive, but it's entirely mundane.
That doesn't make a lick of sense! If the sword didn't kill him, then why was it in the body? Yes, I find that quite strange as well.
Alright. I might have to change White's voice to my gumshoe voice, just to take down the amount of gruff voices that I'm doing between him and the judge. Well, there's only one reasonable explanation, Your Honor. The wound was created magically, and someone shoved the sword into the wound afterward.
Clearly this is the work of a red mage!
What the hell are you talking about? Remember, I'm changing his voice to my gumshoe voice, which is also my Mr. Mach voice, and there's also my Zin voice. It's one of those recurring voices. The defendant is a damn mage. He could have easily killed the victim using magic. That may be, Commander, but why would she kill the victim using magic and then stab him with her sword? She would just be incriminating herself. No. If anything, this series of events proves one thing. Someone used magic to kill the victim, and then they pushed my client's sword into the wound to frame her.
Objection!
Don't get ahead of yourself. Nani? Your Honor, the defense is trying to spin the facts in his favor. He claims that a third party committed the crime and used the sword to frame the defendant. But wouldn't the simpler explanation be this? Magic was being channeled through the sword at the time of death. I have evidence here that she had 100 black magic and 100 white magic, and she blew them all to do her burst rotation. Thank you very much. That is what left the magical trace on the body. Commander, please the defense how much the murder was committed using magic. Nani? Alright. I think I see where you're going with this. Testimony number 2. That's our cross-examination music. I didn't really pay attention to that because my volume was a little bit low at the time.
It's true that the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. The defendant over there, her spell compendium is a spell called Mage Blade. She must have used it on her sword before stabbing the victim. That spell is the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the wound.
So, her spell compendium contains a spell called Mage Blade. A spell compendium is a magical device that lifts every spell a mage can cast. Luckily, Celeste's compendium contains only one spell. That means she can only cast that one spell. Celeste, do you have your spell compendium with you? No. I left it at the tavern after... Well, you know. If you can't look at the description for Mage Blade, you'll have to approach this another way. The commander's testimony was a lot vaguer this time. If you can press his statements, you might be able to find new information that you can use against him. During cross-examinations, you can press statements to acquire more information. Sometimes pressing the right statement can make the witness add a statement to their testimony. It's true the sword itself isn't magical, but magic can still be channeled through it. Are you saying my client used a spell and channeled it through her sword? There are a vast number of spells that operate like that. Spells from the School of Transmutation are almost always channeled through an object. How do you know this? Mage Blade? It's a transmutation spell that sharpens my sword. I usually use it when I need to cut through an enemy's plate armor. You didn't realize that she led such a lethal lifestyle. But anyways, wouldn't it be excessive for the defendant to use a spell like that on the victim? He wasn't wearing any kind of armor at the time of death. The victim and the defendant were in an intense argument. Perhaps she used the spell in a bit of rage. It was a crime of passion, after all. Yeah, that theory is a little far-fetched, but you'll need hard evidence if you want to disprove it. Must have used it on a sword before stabbing the victim. Why would she go to the trouble of doing that? Her sword alone would have been enough to commit the murder. Mages are always looking for an excuse to throw their power around. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Isn't that just your own personal bias, Commander? We don't need to understand why the defendant did what she did. The fact of the matter is that magic was present at the crime. Do you have any evidence to the contrary? You don't. Yet. That spell was the reason why there were traces of transmutation magic on the spell. Oh, really? If she used a spell like that, wouldn't that have created traces of magic on the ground?
How so?
Well, let's see we follow the persecution's theory. That would mean that the victim fell to the ground with the sword still inside him. At this point, Mage Blade would still be active, right? It would definitely leave a magical trace on the ground after making physical contact with it.
We're already way ahead of you, pal. Excuse me? I said we were way ahead of you and then I stopped my sentence right there. What are you trying to imply, pal? We had our people scan the crime scene. And we found traces of transmutation magic right under her body, just like you said.
Oh.
If you still don't believe me, I have a picture of the crime scene right here, baby.
Oh? Why was this picture not brought to my attention?
There was no need. This entire case is open and shut.
A picture of Flintheart McCoy after he was murdered. Gah! You've seen pictures of the dead before, but it feels different now that the body is of someone you knew. Looks like there are traces of magic on the ground. But this shape is a little weird, isn't it? Uh-oh. She saw something she didn't like. She's about to slash someone's budget. What was that just now? You can see it right in this photo. She killed him with a stab from the front. Alright, let's see what we got here. So, it was a stab from the front. What am I looking at right now? I'm looking at the murder weapon. Let me compare this to the murder weapon. So this is Celeste's sword, right? And then the sword... That doesn't look like the sword to me. Oh, wait. Okay, so this is the hilt right here. This white circle with the red sigil on it. And there's the sigil on it right there. But it looks like something a whole lot thicker than just the sword was driven straight through. Looked like there was another weapon, because, you know, right next to his hand, like a little bit south, well, east of it, looks like that's a hilt. Looks like she was run through with two things. What happens if I press number 5? Right, this photo does show he was stabbed from the front. Why do you feel like there's something wrong with this picture? This would be a lot easier if you knew the parameters of Mageblade. But perhaps you can get him to add statements or evidence to his testimony. The only thing you can do now is press the statements. So she killed him with a stab from the front. Yeah, it looks like he was stabbed by two things in this picture. Also, what is this thing on the right here? Here, look.
Objection!
Uh-oh. My first bad evidence presentation. Oh. Do you not have a HP bar? Is there really no reason to save scum in this? Can I just throw evidence around willy-nilly? I understand that games need attention in a lost state, but at the same time, with how much people use saving and reloading, you want to say that I do but not yet. Baby steps. I see. She killed him with a stab from the front, let me see her. That spells the reason why there are traces of transmutation magic on the wound. She must have used it on the sword before stabbing the victim. Over there, a spell compendium has a spell called Mageblade. Man, magic can be... Alright. So I don't have any information on anybody. Just name, age, occupation, and their art. Died after being stabbed from behind with a magical blade. That's what I'm looking for.
Objection!
I'm sorry, Commander White, but it seems that you've presented another glaring contradiction. Oh, yeah? What's that? You said that my client stabbed the victim from the front? Am I correct? Yeah, you can see it plain in that picture. So, where's your contradiction? That's the thing, Commander. Your picture clearly shows that the victim was stabbed from the front, but the autopsy report says that he died from a stab from behind. Nani?
Objection!
Orim, you were supposed to release everything that you had. Why wasn't this photo given to me? There was no need. There's no way it could have been anyone other than the damn mage. Murmurs ring out across the gallery. Didn't matter how corrupt the justice system was, they wouldn't be able to cover up such a blatant incompetence. You have them right where you want them.
Order! Order in the court! Mr. Cuthbert, what is the meaning of this?
I'll tell you what the meaning behind this is, Your Honor. As the autopsy report states, the victim died from a stab wound originating from his back. But this photo clearly shows that the sword entered from his front. This can only mean one thing. The sword was inserted into the wound after the fatal wound had already been created. That's crazy. You honestly expect us to believe that? Then please enlighten me, Commander White. How else would the sword be facing the opposite way? Do you think my client stabbed the victim with the hilt of her sword? I didn't think so. What really happened is clear. The real murderer stuck the sword through the victim's wound to implicate my client. But they made the careless mistake and stuck the sword through the opposite side.
Objection!
It appears they underestimated you, Mr. Cuthbert. But you've still got ahead of yourself.
Really, Miss Stillwind? I believe that Mr. Cuthbert has adequately cast doubt on your case.
Oh, did he now? Then let me ask you one question, Mr. Cuthbert. If your client didn't kill Mr. Flintheart McCoy, then who did? How should I know? If I'm not mistaken, it's the commander's job to figure that out.
Damn!
That vice grip. Oh? I am well aware of the commander's incompetence, but one fact still stands. There was magic detected on the wound and the sword. Would you like for me to tell you how many mages live in that small town? You don't like where she's going with this. Just one. There's only one registered mage in that entire town, and that mage is your client.
What?
The defendant was also established to have been with the victim hours before his death. She was the last known person with him, and she was the only mage there. In addition to that, I have several witnesses who heard them arguing. How she murdered the victim is simply an unanswered question.
I see. That certainly does change matters. I can't say that the prosecution's evidence is irrefutable, but there is still evidence that casts guilt upon the defendant.
Damn it, you almost had them.
There are far too many unanswered questions for me to pass a verdict. You will give law enforcement time to clear these unknowns. I suggest that they conduct their investigation more thoroughly this time.
Oh man.
We'll resume the trial tomorrow morning. Court is adjourned. I hit the gavel twice as hard that time.
Hello, Cuthbert. As you walk out of the courtroom of Celeste, you're greeted by Ms. Tamora. Ms. Tamura, you're here. You recall how you froze up during the first cross-examination. You feel a little ashamed that your mentor saw all of that. Well, at the end of the day, you were able to pull it together. And once you did that, you performed adequately. On that note, I wanted to give you this. Celeste's spell compendium has been added to your notes. Oh, look at this. We actually got a description for a Mage Blade. For the duration of this spell, the edges of this object, usually a blade, become unnaturally sharp, making it more effective at slashing through tough material. While under the effect of this spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no longer than 5 foot cube. My spell compendium? I swiped it from the dining area before the Inquisition arrived. I thought it'd be best for you to have it. So, this is your spell compendium, and it only has one spell, Mage Blade. This means that the prosecution has to prove that Celeste used that specific spell. It will restrict how they approach this case, which gives you an edge over them. But that prosecutor is really something else. You mean Prosecutor Steelwind? You can still remember her ripping glare. It gives you chills just thinking about it. You wouldn't even know it, but this was also her first trial. Really? I thought that her inexperience would make for a good first opponent. But that girl, she's a natural in the courtroom. Makes me wonder why a Steelwind would choose to become an attorney in the first place. What do you mean? The Steelwinds are a powerful noble house. Of the noble families, they are one of a few who answer directly to the king. Most members of their house take high-ranking positions in the kingdom's military. So it's a bit strange that she chose to become a prosecutor despite that. Steelwind. I feel like I've heard it somewhere before. In any case, it's best that you focus on the trial. You have about a day until court resumes. Right. Now that I have time, I'd like to ask you some questions, Celeste. Namely about that argument you had with your father. Oh. You see the bailiff staring daggers at Celeste. It looks like they're waiting to take her back to her cell. Whatever questions you have for her will have to wait. I should probably go. Celeste walks away while avoiding eye contact with you. Bringing up her argument with Flintheart may have struck a nerve. I'll also use this opportunity to investigate the crime scene. I wouldn't be surprised if the Inquisition missed something. You utterly embarrassed them today. Don't expect them to make the same mistake twice. Right. There are still a lot of things we don't know about. As much as I hate to admit it, your skills of deduction far surpass mine. If anyone can figure out what really happened that night, it's you. Save that progress. About how much longer do you figure that we have on this? Could I close out this entire case within, about an hour or so? Or should I really just close out here and then leave that for next time? Like, is the first investigation gonna be really short? And then the second day? You believe that it can be done tonight, within a reasonable amount of time? Alright, they might as well. You arrive back at the McCoy Tavern. Luckily for you, the Inquisition set up a teleportation circle for you to use. How convenient! It's the investigation and other trial section. Gotcha. With that circle, you could magically teleport between the capital and the crime scene instantaneously. It's definitely miles better than having to travel by carriage.
Oh, it's you. What are you doing here?
Commander White takes notice of you as you enter the tavern. It looks like he's been working with a team of knights to investigate the crime scene. I'm the defense attorney in this case. I have just as much right to investigate this crime scene as you do.
Yeah, whatever. Just remember, I got my eye on you, pal.
What's that?
I got my eye on you, kid.
I'm going to ask you questions. Wondering if I ask you some questions about the case.
Ah, as if I'd help the likes of you. I saw your bosses, and I know what you're up to.
That witch probably sent you here to con me. Ayo.
I'm just looking for some information. A likely story.
He was cooperative before when at least he's Celeste. Why is he being so stubborn now? Is he angry that you embarrassed him in court today? In any case, you won't get anywhere at this rate. You want his help, you have to persuade him through an argument. It helps to prepare before starting an argument with someone. Talk to Orm or present items to him to build a psychological profile for him. If you successfully fill the profile gauge, you'll receive more information during any arguments against him. Oh, shoot! So I can start the argument with him when I fill this up entirely? Cool. So, what does the Arcane Inquisition do exactly?
You're trying to pick a fight with me?
No, I'm genuinely curious.
Well, I'm sure you already know, but us Inquisitors investigate crimes that involve magic.
Do crimes like this all happen often?
Maybe once in a blue moon.
Makes sense. Most mages are in the nobility, after all. Even if they're untouchable, they don't make a habit of getting into trouble with the law. You must have an easy job, then.
You got that right.
The only reason we exist is to clean up the nobility's messes. He doesn't seem that happy about it. Then tell me about mages. You seem to speak negatively about my client's magic. Do you have a personal grudge against mages?
You're damn right I do.
Wow, you didn't even try to deny it.
And if you had any sense, you would too. All a mage has to do is wave their hands and say some magic nonsense. They suddenly have a dead body on the ground. And don't get me started on mage blight. If some nobility uses their magic too much, they end up snapping and going on a rampage.
I don't know if this is going too far, but why join the Inquisition if you hate mages so much? Considering the fact that, that's my job to sweep nobility's crimes under the rug. Sorry, I didn't mean to insinuate.
Nah, you have the right of it. Anytime a noble's involved in a case, I'm ordered to look the other way.
You don't seem very happy to do that. Why would you stay in this line of work?
Because every once in a while, I'm allowed to put a criminal mage behind bars. We can't go up to the nobles, but any other mage is fair game. Or at least, they were, before your boss showed up.
Your boss? Does he have something against Ms. Tamora? I have to ask, did something happen between you and Ms. Tamora?
Ms. Tamora. What are you, a lackey or something?
No, actually, she's my guardian.
Oh, I didn't even know she had a... Look, kid, I don't know what the deal is between you two, but no good will ever come from associating with her.
This is about the rumors, isn't it? Throughout the years, there have been several insidious rumors surrounding Ms. Tamora. She's been accused of forgery, blackmail, in all manner of illegal activities. It's clearly misinformation spread by the nobility to discredit her. She's always been fine with it. You can't help but get angry on her behalf. That's more than just rumors, pal. I've seen it for myself. That woman is evil, kid. She defends mages who don't have the protection of the nobility. She's not evil. She's a hero. Yeah, whatever. Psychic profiles is complete. Now we can argue with them. Alright, boys. Open up them X accounts. Commander White seems unusually hostile towards you. You have a feeling it's not just because you embarrassed him in court today. If you can clear up this misunderstanding, you might be able to convince him to help you. Start an argument with Orm White. Hilarious. Let's boot up that social media, fellas. Alright, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Do you have a problem with me, Commander White? You should know exactly what my problem is with you. I saw who you work for. Do I have to spell it out for you? Ruby Tamora is a crooked lawyer. Or does your boss not tell you what she gets up to? Arguments are not always fought using hard evidence. Sometimes you need to elocute. I graduated with a degree in English, and this is the first time I have seen the word elocute. To convince your opponent that their claim is wrong, when prompted for an elocution, choose from one of the three possible responses. The correct response can be gleaned from reading your opponent's psychological profile. Commander White is stubborn and stuck in his ways. He seems to have a grudge against Ruby Tamora. React negatively if you try to defend her. However, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. So his statement is that Ruby Tamora is a crooked lawyer, and as you can expect, they do not allow me to save my game. So let me see here. So Ruby Tamora is a crooked lawyer. Regardless of what Miss Tamora has done, I am the one hitting this case. You have no right to throw baseless accusations against me or Miss Tamora. It doesn't matter how you feel about me and Miss Tamora. What matters is that my client deserves a fair trial with fair representation. So, he will respect you if you defend yourself against personal attacks. So, he will react negatively if I try to defend her. So defending, that includes Ms. Tamora, so he will not like me defending her by using defend. It doesn't matter how you feel about me or Ms. Tamora. What matters is that my client deserves a fair trial with fair representation. That really doesn't have anything to do with Ms. Tamora. Regardless of what Ms. Tamora has done, I'm the one heading this case. This one looks like the most likely option, because I am just throwing everything having to do with Miss Tamora out the window, and I'm saying, hey, we're not talking about her, we're talking about me now. So you don't like her, but whatever's going on, your beef is with me and me alone, not my association. So we're deflecting. Regardless of Miss Tamora done, I'm the one heading this case. Whatever problems you have with her, they have nothing to do with me. Damn. That still doesn't change the fact that you work for her. I've seen that woman do all sorts of shady shit in the cases I've worked. Forgery, bribery, blackmail, you name it. You're just another crook. I'll bet you're just the same, a successor for the devil of defense attorneys. Okay, so he will respect you if you defend yourself from personal attacks. I'm not Ruby Tamora. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run on this case. Me being her successor has nothing to do with it. Forgery about it. Have you seen me do any of these things? Because all I've done so far is point out the mistakes you've made. I'm not Ruby Tamura. Regardless of what you've seen her do, I'm going to run an honest case. So, defending, it looks like that is going to be further disassociating myself from her. Me being her successor has nothing to do with it. That's not very solid. Border, have you seen me do any of these things? Because all I've done so far is point out the mistakes you've made. So this one is based off of vibes. This one doesn't provide anything solid. So I'm leaning towards rationalizing. Although, maybe making it personal. Yeah, this might be a little bit too personal for him. So, this one has hard evidence, but it's too personal. This one is not personal at all, but it's kind of a trust me bro situation. I'm not sold on deflect though. And yeah. So this one is I'm going between rationalize and defend. If you try to defend her... So I have two things I need to do. Don't defend Ms. Tamura, defend myself. And the thing is, this is more defending of myself. But, this one is also defending myself. What the heck? Warm weather has brought a whole lot of level 1 monsters into my place. Alright. So the question is, do I point out that it's me versus him, or do I not do that? Do I defend or do I rationalize? And I'm not given the option to save. I'm gonna rationalize. Forgery, bribery, blackmail. Have you seen me do any of these things? Because all I've done so far is point out the mistakes that you've made. Ah! Alright. Maybe I should have more confidence in myself. Look, kid. I love nothing more than believe you. But after everything I've seen her do, I know better. I have no reason to trust you. Anyone taught by that woman can't be anything more than a crook. Nothing I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? Nothing I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. You have no proof she's a crook. That's off the table. He does not want me to go to bat for her at all. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. These are basically the same. Nothing I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? The only thing I can imagine is that asking a question kind of makes this collaborative and makes him more amenable. Although, that might allow his imagination to run wild. So I've already deflected and I've already rationalized. I have not defended a single time. Deflect leaves it open. Does it? Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Have you seen me engage in any crook-like behavior? Rationalize leaves it open. So yeah. So this question it does give him kind of a blank check. But at the same time, like I said before, it might make things feel a little bit more collaborative. But if I actually have done anything to make him suspect me, that would really close him up on me. I'm guessing it's deflect. He will respect me if I defend myself against personal attacks. Okay, so this one is more like, what do you think of me? This one is, I've done nothing wrong. Get off my back, brother. Right now, I'm just a defense attorney that's asking you for information. Nothing that I've done has given you any reason to suspect me. Argument 1. You just want some info, right? Yes, that's all I'm asking for. Alright, I'll answer your questions. Just don't make me regret this. You've successfully persuaded Orm White. This probably goes without saying, but I don't believe that the sword is the murder weapon. Right. I guess you'll have to prove that someone else put that sword there. Did the Inquisition find anything suspicious on the scene? Ever asking if we found another blooded weapon lying around? They definitely didn't. That would be a little too convenient, wouldn't it? Well, let's say that the girl really is being framed. If there was another murder weapon, the killer probably would have walked her out with it. Do you think they could have hidden it somewhere in the tavern? Doubt it. After the trial, Steelwind turned the place upside down and scanned it with her magic. If someone did hide a murder weapon here, they hid it well. Or they hid it in plain sight. I can't believe you made such an obvious mistake during your investigation. Ah, shut it with that. I've already got an earful from Steelwind about that mess. Well, you don't have to worry about me mucking things up. Steelwind's basically taken over the entire investigation. Wait, does she have the authority to do that? Normally she wouldn't, but I know better than to go against orders from a noble. Right. There's definitely a strange power dynamic between them. But honestly, that girl sweats the details too much. She even had my men drop a scaled map of the crime scene. Wait, really? Do you have a copy? Sure. Knock yourself out. Don't know how much good it'll do you. Crime scene map. McCoy Tavern has been added to your notes. Well, let's, I keep on hitting that. Maybe I can, take a little looky-loo. Nice! I said a looky-loo. Phone. So everything is 5 feet by 5 feet, and, if I recall, the spell, Mage Blade, does not go much further than 5 feet by 5 feet, so we're onto something. Don't know what we're onto, but we're onto it. I heard that this was Prosecutor Steelwind's first trial. She must be pretty talented if that's true. A pain in my ass is what she is. That damn noble comes in here telling me how to do my job. I honestly had no idea what she's even doing in this line of work. I heard that she's from a round noble house. She must be a pretty powerful mage. Ah, powerful is an understatement. The Steelwinds who came before could turn this entire town into a glass crater. What? There's no way that's true. Right? Alright, let's get examining. There's a chalk outline of a person on the ground of the tavern. That's probably where Flintheart died. The outline matches the picture that the Inquisition took. Nothing seems to be out of place here. So this game that doesn't want you to engage in any pixel hunting is what I'm saying. The D&D is strong in this game. Yep. Takes me right back to when we did our campaigns in like 2015. The Inquisition lit some candles, but there's a magical lamp right there. Wonder why they're not using those instead. A modern-looking lamp mounted on the wall, powered by artificery. Didn't expect to find something sophisticated in a town like this. Artificery is just another form of magic. Actually, artificery draws from the surrounding ley lines to "I didn't ask for a science lesson, kid." Anyway, look where the artificery got these folks. The arcane power cell broke. They haven't had power for weeks. Yeah, nothing beats a good old oil and flame. Oh, hello, a broken power cell. It's in my notes. It's been broken for weeks and the lamps can't be turned on. Alright, we're finding things. A painting of a mage. There's some text on it. So Mala Daglian, a legendary practitioner of the arcane arts, he mysteriously disappeared one day. You sure he just didn't use a vanishing spell? It's rumored he was developing a formula for a new transmutation spell. However, he was reckless in casting the spell, and Daglian quickly lost control of its magic. His body was never found. Many speculate that he didn't actually die during the incident, but if that's true, where did he end up? Sounds like a cautionary tale against using magic. That might explain why Flintheart keeps it in his tavern. There's a broken bottle on the floor. It's shattered close to the chalk outline of the body. The label has the words Lotus Juice on it. Never heard of that brand before. Must be foreign. Alright, shattered bottle of Lotus Juice. I'm sure that'll come up later. Or maybe they'll just keep on throwing things that have nothing to do with the case. They do that plenty in other games, don't they? It's a painting of a man in a suit. There's some text on it. Adam Evelyn, politician of the Pedantic. I've heard of this guy. He's some kind of politician from one of the nations west of here. I've heard he's pretty much a shoo-in to win whatever election they got going on there. An election? Is Flintheart studying democracies for his little revolution? Interesting. Alright, looks like I have found everything that there is. Thank you for not forcing me to engage in any pixel hunting. Appreciate that very much. You think you found everything that you can here, but what does it all mean? There's no murder weapon to be found, and there's no obvious evidence of another person at the scene. Hey, you okay, pal? You got quiet all of a sudden. Alright, just focus. Close your eyes and let everything else disappear from the world. Hey, you listening? So, there's no clear evidence pointing to another killer. There is, however, evidence pointing to how Flintheart moved before his death. Nani? What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does this imply about the location of Flintheart's death? Oh, look at all this fun stuff. What can we tell about how Flintheart died? The killer attacked Flintheart after... Nope. Framed Celeste after the murder? No. What can we tell about how Flintheart died? Okay, so Flintheart didn't move after the murder. There was no blood trail where Flintheart's body is. The lack of a blood trail tells us something important, namely where Flintheart was throughout the murder. What? Flintheart... What? This is kind of a weird mechanic right here. Okay, let me see here. So there's no clear evidence pointing toward another killer. There's no evidence of how Flintheart moved before his death. What can we tell about how Flintheart died? There's no blood trail leading to or from the body. What does that imply about the location of Flintheart's death? Flintheart... Yeah, Flintheart didn't move after the murder, or during the murder. Flintheart died where he was attacked. He didn't move from his position at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. There's also the autopsy report, which says that he died from a stab from behind. He was probably caught off guard and was too incapacitated to move anywhere else. This means that the attack happened at the exact position he fell over. I was about to say, that was kind of a wonky mechanic there, but once I realized that I had access to the text log, everything fit into place. I now actually liked it. That was actually pretty neat. Crime scene has been updated in my notes. Oh, really? Let's see. Yeah! We're building our map here. Check that out. So we both had it wrong on our first attempt. There's also the shattered bottle of lotus juice. How did the bottle shatter? I doubt it means anything, but the shattered bottle is right next to the body. Let me see. Flintheart. Let me see. Threw the bottle before the attack? Because I remember watching it. It looked like it exploded in his hand. Yeah. Based off of what I saw when it was shown in the cutscene earlier, it looked like the bottle exploded in his hand. How did the bottle shatter? Well, he didn't throw it. He didn't place it either. Place it would be gentle. And, yeah. Before the attack, during the attack, after the attack. After the attack? No. The shadow bottle right now has been holding it at some point. During the attack? Yeah. What? The after versus during is messing me up here. Flintheart dropped the bottle when he was attacked. From that, we can infer that he was holding it the moment before he was attacked. What's so strange about one bottle, though? Don't use meta-knowledge. That's how you poison your knowledge. It's one or the other. I see. So I need to come at this from someone who hasn't seen the cutscenes. It may seem like an insignificant detail, but that detail could help me infer other elements of what's happened during the murder. Right. There's also the fact that the artificery lights were out. Were these candles here when you arrived at the crime scene, Orm? No. We had to light some so we could see the crime scene properly. We thought it was weird too. The girl and her father must have had their argument in pitch black darkness. What can we infer about the state of the crime scene? Why didn't they light any candles to make up for the broken lights? Let's see, what can we infer about the state of the crime scene? The crime scene had no lighting before the murder. No, the candles were lit by the Inquisition after they came to investigate the murder. The dining room lights had no energy for the last week. It seems strange, but this can only mean one thing about the room's lighting. Crime scene had no lighting during the murder. I'm 3 for 3 of not picking during. The crime scene had no lighting during the murder. Broken Paracel has been updated in your notes. The argument that Celeste had with Flintheart must have been spontaneous. They weren't planning to have a conversation in this room. In this darkness, Flintheart wouldn't have a lot of visibility. If he was stabbed from behind, he probably didn't see it coming. He was clearly surprised and probably in too much shock to run away. Also, the bottle may seem insignificant, but he was holding it when he was attacked. Maybe he was pouring a drink for himself, or maybe it was for a visitor. Either way, the assailant must have been unseen by Flintheart. Kid. Or the assailant attacked him from his blind spot when his back was turned. Why would his back be turned, though? Was he distracted by something? Kid. What? What was that all about? Sorry, sometimes I just get lost in my own thoughts. Yeah, well, cut it out. You're freaking me out. Right. Anyways, you think you found everything you can here. You should move somewhere else. Oh wow, we got a couple places to go. Upstairs? Is it upstairs? Alright. Don't know what I'm gonna find here, but if people keep seeing you here, they're gonna start asking questions. Leave the investigation to me. All you have to do is stay quiet until the trial is over. That's right, the place does have an upstairs. That's where I was staying. While heading upstairs, you spot the prosecutor having a conversation with someone. They seem to be in some kind of an argument. Enough! I will do as I see fit. You may be a Steelwind, but this is my land. Oh, sorry. Oh, you're the defense attorney from the trial. I am. I'm sorry, but who? How rude of me. My name is Lord Garrick Pierce, the ruling noble of this land. That's right, nobleman is an occupation. As the ruling noble, I suppose I should thank you for playing your part in this current trial, as misguided as it may be. I suppose that you also think my client is guilty. It does not matter what I think. This entire scandal has done nothing but rile up the common folk. Magic is a gift for the nobility, and the nobility alone. It is a symbol of the aristocracy and our divine right to rule. And now that bastard child has tainted that symbol in the public eye. All that has nothing to do with her. She's just an innocent woman who got wrapped up in all of this. Even if she is innocent, the charges have been laid and made public. Someone must take the fall, unless the public accuse the justice system of corruption. So you're saying that she should be found guilty even if she's innocent? What do you suppose will happen if she's acquitted? All the public will see is a mage going free despite a myriad of evidence. That alone would be enough to cause public outrage. Tensions between the aristocracy and the common folk are high enough as is. What is one insignificant girl when compared to the stability of our great kingdom? That's enough. Stop antagonizing him, Pierce. I can't refute what he said, but I don't agree with it. What? The system should be based on truth and justice, not on public opinion. Then why are you working against my client? Do you honestly think she's the kind of person that would kill her father? It doesn't matter what kind of person she appears to be. The evidence clearly points to her as the only possible killer. But you should fight according to your own ideals, just as I will fight for mine. It's hard to get a read on that woman. Some candles lighting up the hallway that used to be part of the old architecture. We have guest rooms. That's the one that we stayed in. A door at the end of the hallway. It seems to be used recently, but it's locked. There might be a key to open it. Oh! Maybe the killer used that room. Let's see, we'll go to the barracks. You return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in. The ambient despair fills your mind like a horrendous stench. You did your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you hadn't had much practice blocking up this many people. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled in a corner. Her dour mood sees the lift as soon as she sees you. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. Anyways, I came here to ask you some questions about the case. Right. The trial. I'm sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us the trial. You hated Pierce already? Is that normal? That's absolutely normal. You don't need to get tested. You've got good judge of character. No, there's no need to apologize. You did great. But it was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down, who knows what would have happened. But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right. Those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. Magical traces are particles of magic residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. They only linger around 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of when the spell and where a spell is cast. Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning. That explains why there was trace on the sword, at least. Did the trace on my sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body? No. Magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made. Really? What does that mean, then? Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence. I can't believe this. Okay, so... she cast transmutation on her sword, and then whatever killed her father also had Mage Blade, but those things were unrelated. Could you tell me more about your father? Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened. No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions. Were you too close? We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all his heart until what? Does this have something to do with the argument that they had? I'm sorry to say this, but I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened? For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if you even mention magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So, I hid my magic from my family. But why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it. Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my abilities to fight. Most mages are in the nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. So that's why she is a mercenary. Yep. Her occupation has been added to the notes. Yep, so she can pay for her family. But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I betrayed him and his family. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how that must have felt. I deserved every bit of it. I knew how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyways. He showed me so much love, and I just threw it all away. Don't say that. I'm sure he still loved you. No. I could see it in his eyes. He hated me, and he died hating me. That is a hell of a burden. You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought. So, there's a locked room in the tavern. It's at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just wanted to investigate it to make sure. A locked room at the end of the hallway? I think that's my room. That's where I keep my panties.
Why would you say that?
Do you know how I could get in there? It's the only room in the tavern that I haven't investigated. You feel a suspicious gaze from Celeste. What's that look for?
I'm your lawyer. I'm not gonna do anything weird.
Sorry, you're right. I was just thinking of my panties. Stop saying that! Here, you can use this key to get inside. I now have Celeste's bedroom key. No comment. I'm guessing that just like the detention room, the detention center in Ace Attorney, there's really never going to be anything to find in here. Alright. Then we are going to Celeste's bedroom. What can we find? My god. So many pictures of Calyx in here. Use the key to enter Celeste's room. However, you're startled when you notice that someone else is already inside. I've already told you, knights, everything that I know. I am maintaining eye contact. What more do you... Oh, aren't you Celeste's attorney? I am. Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. You do not look 46. I hope to look half as good when I'm 46. Occupation, unemployed. I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. She might be able to tell you more about Flintheart. About that, do you mind if I ask some questions for my investigation? Of course. I'll do anything I can to help. Can you tell me why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike the nobility and associate magic with them, but on that night, it's like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage. Oh, you must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when their argument happened, but I can only imagine what he had said to her. Where was she? Hmm? Do you know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much? Celeste doesn't know about this, But years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When I was a child, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce. Thickening! There's a whole lot of thickness going on here, and for once it actually is the plot. He was the son of the ruling noble at the time, Garrick Pierce. Isn't that the nobleman that was speaking with Steelwind earlier? We were all inseparable at the time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us against his family's wishes. They probably weren't too happy about that. He was quite rebellious back then, but he's a completely different person now, and she is torn up about it. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day, we were playing together. He wanted to show off the spells that he'd learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he was just too excited. He began casting his spells, but something went horribly wrong. He lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. Damn! We tried bringing her back into town, but by that time it was too late. She was already gone. I'm sorry. That must have been traumatizing for all of you. The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connections to cover up what happened. They even threatened Flintheart's family into keeping quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf. That's not surprising. Nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even for a mistake like that. Yeah, magic killed his sister. That's... probably won't excuse a lot of the prejudice, but it does explain it. Something changed in Flintheart after that. He began speaking out against nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Every night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. The number of people that he'd gotten under his banner was terrifying. There was even talk of an outright revolution against the kingdom. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. I knew how much danger he was putting himself in. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until we adopted Celeste. Can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become a part of your family? It all happened many years ago, back when McQuay Tavern was still open. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for our parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. And that baby was Celeste. Yes, Flintheart and I always wanted a child. I thought that Celeste might have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care though. I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flintheart did too. Wait, you knew that she was a mage all this time? I did. You haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed too, but I think that he didn't want to believe it. It's my fault. I should have forced him to see the truth. I spoke with Celeste earlier. She thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage. There's no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, nothing would ever change that. After seeing them together, you figured as much. Celeste was the world to him. When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades that I'd seen him so genuinely happy. They must have been really close. More than anything, Do you want to hear her story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. Lotus juice?
Yep.
Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He called in a bunch of favors with some of his revolutionary friends, but in the end, he was only able to get a single bottle of it. Is it really that rare? Yes. I wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Wait a minute. Lotus juice? Is this the bottle that Flintheart bought? You show her a picture of the shattered bottle that you found next to her body, next to his body. It is! Oh no. He was going to surprise her with it. I found the broken pieces next to Flintheart's... Well, I found them in the dining area. That's strange. He'd been keeping it in our room so she wouldn't find it. Really? When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. It was right before their big argument. So it wasn't just laying around in the bar. He decided to retrieve it after the argument. Wonder what that unveils. Shattered bottle of lotus juice has been updated. You've investigated everything you can for now. Still one last thing I need to do. You ready for yourself for one last conversation with Celeste? Look at me fine in here. A fancy looking bed. It was custom made. She was making lots of gold from her mercenary work? Go get that bag, girl! That door is a door! It's a table with several chairs for entertaining guests. Hasn't seen much use, though. It's a painting of a woman with some sort of aquatic animal. She loved the painting. She brought it back from her travels. The woman is named Madeline Kipling. She runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. It's a fey kip. So she really likes fey kips, doesn't she? Alright, we're going back to the barracks. I'm back! One last thing to talk about. You said that your father died hating you, but after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Your father loved you, Celeste, even in his final moments. If she keeps believing that he hated her, that thought will eat away at you for the rest of her life. He's just lying to make me feel better. It won't be that simple. You need to win an argument against her if you want her to see the truth. I see. Then let's go ahead and, let's warm up those cords of steel. Actually, so it looks like I don't have any... Yeah, I don't have any bar to fill up over here. So we will just have to start arguing. I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it. But everyone knows that my father hated mages. He's always hated magic, there's no reason behind it. Well then... So this is the autopsy, and this is the testimony. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic so much. When Flintheart was a child, he had a sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. That's why he had such an immense hatred for magic. I never knew. But that doesn't change anything. That's all the more reason for him to have hated me. It was selfish of me to have learned magic. I knew how much he hated magic, but I had to learn it anyways. Magic killed someone he loved, no matter he was furious. So she could support... Yeah. But you didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down. And please stop it with the crying animation. You're tearing my heart into bits and pieces. You're a good person, Celeste. You did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that. Just shut up. What? Shut up! Just stop it! Whatever composure she had before is slowly breaking down. You weren't there! You didn't hear what he said to me! In his final moments, he could only think of how I betrayed him. I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he would ever forgive me. Oh yeah? Well, this shattered bottle of lotus juice says otherwise. Take a look at this picture, Celeste. What? A shattered bottle? Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice? Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn. That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyvern Guard. Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything. That doesn't change anything. If he did all that for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth. That's not true at all. What the hell do you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he ever forgave me for what I did. It's not just the fact that he brought the drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it shattered. What do you mean? Your mother said the bottle was stowed away in her room before your argument. But I found the shattered bottle in the lobby, where his body was. I ran into him before I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That can only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended. Why would he have it? It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give you a gift to apologize for what he said to you. He was going to apologize? Your father loved you, Celeste. And as tragic as it is, he was going to try to apologize to you before he was murdered.
I don't like this. My daughter, working as a mercenary of all things.
Come on, Dad. You know I can handle myself.
I don't doubt it. You still shouldn't have to risk your necks for our sakes.
They closed the inn, Dad. Won't be able to survive unless I do this.
Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter. And we'll love you until the day we die.
Dad, how could I ever think that? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Dad. Celeste had barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly, and she quickly embarrasses you. She begins crying loudly as she quickly embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hadn't felt warmth of any kind for days. You're caught off guard and you feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions. Argument 1! Yay! Kind of a emotional whiplash there. Are you feeling better? Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. She looks at you and gives you a warm smile. It's probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay? I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. Doesn't matter who stands in my way. Even if they're a man, king, or god. You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Please forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial is going to resume soon. With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened the night of the murder. Just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned. Has Pierce told you all the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them? Yes, I pride myself on my eidetic memory. Just so there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this. You said yourself, Lady Steelwind, there's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby Tomorrow might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. Alright. Much as I don't want to break everyone's heart with me not doing the entire first episode in one single stream. Fortunately, I had to go and nod off during my break, but I have to. It's about time. We are way past reset time. So, we're just going to have to save this trial for another time, let it kind of simmer and rest, and give us a little something to look forward to next time. Leave it on a cliffhanger, folks. Glad you had a fun time. Sleep time is sleep time. Alright. You're very welcome for the stream. That's what makes you human or something. Indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to resume on Wednesday with the trial of the cold-hearted aristocrat. We'll see if we'll see who the actual criminal is. And we're going to see more about what this game has to offer in terms of its gameplay mechanics and storytelling capability. So far, we're seeing a whole lot, and I'm really liking it. So, next time, the second day of trial for the cold-hearted aristocrat. Until then, game out.